I'm Shirakawa from Ohe Transport. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I saw your recent post about the impact the 2024 problem will have on horse racing. Regarding this image, you have the peak season results from before 2023 and the 2024 compliant version side by side.
Right. What this diagram shows is the same month in 2023 before the 2024 problem, and then it illustrates what happens if we follow the new standards. It demonstrates just how limited operations become. It's actually a bit of a complex diagram.
I'd like to hear more about this. What exactly do each of these colors represent?
The dark blue, this is unique to our industry, but we distinguish between break time and rest periods.
I see, okay.
We call it a period. Even though it's within one day, we call it a period.
A period.
Yes, a rest period. It's time you're free. A break, in the general sense, is like a lunch break or a short gap before the next task. You can eat, but you wouldn't exactly go take a bath or anything during a standard break, right?
So that's within working hours?
Exactly. It's a break during your total hours on duty.
Oh, so that's the dark blue?
No, actually, that part isn't shown in dark blue. Dark blue is what we call the rest period. It's your free time outside of your total hours on duty.
Time to take a bath.
Right, to put it simply, that's dark blue. You can go wherever you want.
So there are no location restrictions?
Right? As long as you're back for your next shift, basically.
I see. So you're completely off the clock. It's actually true free time, you know?
Yes. There are rules about consecutive hours, but with the two-driver exception, even shorter gaps can sometimes count as rest periods now.
Then what does the red represent?
Red is, actually, in the 2023 results over on the left, it's when someone is legally on a day off.
Well...
It's a designated day off. In the 2023 data, during the peak season, since horse trailers usually have two drivers, they might both return home together for, say, about a day and a half before the next departure. However, only one full day is officially counted as a legal holiday. Just that specific part is recognized as the legal holiday, and any extra hours beyond that do not count toward the official holiday period. It's a little bit hard to see, but the pink areas are the times when they're at home. However, it's not a full 24 hours, so it doesn't actually count as a legal holiday.
So is that like a long break?
Yeah, like an extended break. For the driver, it's not officially a day off.
Does one line represent one trailer?
No, this is for one vehicle. It's one vehicle's schedule for a month. The issue, as I might have mentioned before, is that since two people take turns driving, the actual individual labor hours are already quite low. The working hours per driver are intense because they're on duty for so long. Since they work in pairs, they were pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Once the materials that we are actually able to release to the public are ready, well, this is just a draft, an early version of what we think we can show, but as you know, Yamanaka-san, they leave Hokkaido, make their deliveries in Honshu, and then return to Hokkaido as usual. Without even going home, they start loading horses in Hidaka again, unloading on the way back, and then immediately loading again to go to Honshu. You know how it is. That won't be possible anymore. Well, technically, it was never allowed in the first place. The transport volume was only possible because they were doing that, so that's why, looking at it, the red lines mean basically drivers who only had one day off a month before now have to take 4 sets of 2 consecutive days off per month.
So basically 8 days off a month.
Yes, that's right. So the way of working will improve significantly, but the total number of horses transported, which is what I'm concerned about, will decrease quite a bit. Some customers might say, so what? But as I mentioned in my post, at the same time, you wouldn't believe how many administrative penalties are happening without being reported in the news. It just doesn't make the news, so people don't know about it.
So looking at this, we should understand that more red means more days off?
Exactly.
Right now, drivers probably do things like washing the truck and maintenance every time they return to the office, right? And they have to operate within this schedule, including that time.
Yes, it's very tight. The total hours allowed per month. I think I've mentioned this before, but we have to stop making active drivers do things like washing and maintenance. We have to divide the work. Yes, like outsourcing. Otherwise, we can't move that many horses. If they spend time on that, they can't drive. So we can't send them out on runs. We have to keep moving in that direction.
So you'll either have to hire dedicated staff for washing and maintenance or outsource it to an external company.
Yes, that's right.
So outsourcing and hiring more people will add to the costs accordingly.
Naturally, those costs will be incurred because, simply put, the revenue per vehicle or the utilization rate will drop. You're stopping people and vehicles this much, but you're still employing the same people for a month or a year. The amount one person or one vehicle can earn the number of horses they can transport will decrease, so naturally, efficiency will drop. I suppose this is how it should be, but, well, you know. So naturally, everything will end up driving up the costs.
That's easy to understand. With that, the meaning of this diagram is clear.
Right. That's why I want to make it even more intuitive at a glance, though.
Is each block like 1 hour or something like that?
Well, if you look closely, you'll see it's basically in 1 hour increments, or rather, to be precise, it's probably in 5-minute increments, but it's likely too faint to see. I don't think many people would actually go to the trouble of zooming in to look at it.
It would probably be clearer if all the extra decorations were removed.
True. For the general public and stakeholders to get a quick overview, it might be best to strip all that away.
From a general perspective, longer hours on duty would be perceived as working longer hours.
Exactly. Unless it's understandable to the public, not just the industry, we can't even bring people to the table or really spark any interest.
That's true.
We can just bring out and use the detailed data when we're actually having discussions.
Because this is just way too detailed.
Right?
Just include an explanation.
People won't look at it if it's too detailed.
So, including the drivers, there haven't been any dedicated maintenance or washing stuff until now, right?
No, there haven't. Each driver handles their own vehicle.
I thought so. They do it themselves, don't they?
In more urban areas, especially with major transport companies, it's not a new thing. They've used part-timers for a long time because they can attract people. Plus, unlike horse trailers, standard trucks are easy to wash. They have fewer contours, so even if someone inexperienced handles them, they're not going to break anything. Even a beginner can do it just by watching or with a little guidance. With horse trailers or other animal transports, there are issues like how to wash the interior and preventing bacterial growth.
On top of that, it seems like each driver has their own specific points they're particular about when washing, right?
Well, we'll have to standardize that eventually. And when these time constraints come up, we really can't have them doing more than what is absolutely necessary. If they're that particular, they should probably save it for their own cars. But since they do take pride in and have a strong attachment to their vehicles, not letting them do it could actually lead to a drop in motivation.
Being told by the company not to do it, you know.
It's not just the company, the government is basically saying not to do it.
So, are you likely planning to start looking for washing and maintenance staff at this stage?
Oh, I've been looking for quite a while. As I've said before, I would really like those who are retiring from the field to take on those important roles. There are always necessary positions, so they can continue working in the field while they're still fit, and then move into those roles when it eventually gets too tough. That's always been the plan, and now we actually have to put it into practice. It's not just an ideal, it's a necessity. We're in a state where things won't work unless we do it. So while I appreciate everyone's hard work, they need to clearly understand that they must rest and go home. I tell them not to stay at the company. It's fine to stay and chat, but since they love their work and have a sense of duty, they end up tinkering with the trucks.
That's true.
And not just the trucks, they start doing all sorts of things.
You also mentioned that the person in charge usually comes to check the day before departure. Will that also become impossible?
Basically, I don't let them do that now. As Yamanaka-san knows, a former driver is handling quite a bit of that, and there's a lot of trust there.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yes, it's a huge help. He's saving everyone time by handling those small details.
I just thought of something, you know. What if there were actually 2 more drivers? Like a lead driver and an assistant, and in total, 4 people would be sharing 1 truck together.
Oh, you mean doubling the staff?
While the truck is idle.
That would be ideal, and it's something I've considered. I mean, trucks do wear out and break down occasionally. But they don't get sick, so they can run year-round. There are no limits on the truck itself. There is no specific rule that says a truck cannot be on the road. As long as the drivers swap out with each other, we can still maintain our regular transport volume.
If we had 2 people assigned to each truck.
Exactly. Many transport companies do that. General freight drivers usually work 8-hour shifts, yet goods are being moved 24 hours a day. Some trucks operate on 3 shifts. 2 or 3 shifts are common.
I see. So, to reach that ideal, would you perhaps start by increasing the number of drivers on your team?
That would be fantastic. As I've said before, being in a rural area like Hidaka, Hokkaido has its strengths, but generally the weaknesses are more apparent. The infrastructure is lacking, and it's not exactly a town people choose for long-term living. To attract people here, we have to offer something truly appealing. In many ways, the costs will be high. I don't want to think it's only about money, though. You can't just ask people to come based on passion without pay, saying, please help us transport horses, or passionate people want it. I mean, I'd love to say that, and I feel that way, but that alone won't attract anyone.
If the amount of time off increased by 7 or even 8 times, people could actually go home more often, which would mean they would end up spending more of their time in Shizunai or Hidaka.
That's right.
So if we can see how people spend their days off in Shizunai and Hidaka, it might be easier to imagine.
Well, since it's summer and autumn, there are things you can do. Hidaka is a cool region even within Hokkaido, though it's been getting hotter lately.
There are actually quite a lot of activities, aren't there?
Yes.
It's also great for riding motorcycles.
It's not very famous, so there aren't many people, which might make it even easier to enjoy.
Yeah, I personally think that's a good thing.
You can play with beautiful horses, ride several different types of horses, ride along the sandy beach, cross peaceful rivers, and there are relaxing hot springs too.
I think that, in my experience, Hidaka is the only place where you can see horses simply by driving around.
That's true. People from other places are honestly really amazed by it. Just that alone seems to move everyone.
So, to reduce drivers' working hours, or rather because they'll inevitably be reduced, we'll need many additional people to support them.
Exactly, because drivers won't be able to move as much. So we have no choice but to reduce transport volume. A decrease is inevitable, I suppose. We can't adapt instantly, but I'm always thinking about how to minimize that impact. We need to carefully divide and distribute the tasks in order to maintain our volume as much as possible. A drop is unfortunately certain. We are not suddenly going to have more trucks or more people, so I really want to keep the impact to an absolute minimum. So, I would really like to have more people like that to help us out.
Those people will definitely come if the working conditions are really good.
That's right.
Conditions and job satisfaction. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Ohe is currently recruiting drivers. Please check our recruitment site or corporate site linked in the description. If you're interested, we look forward to receiving your application.